Grindr announces they will be flying all flags at half-mast today in honor of Lindsey Graham.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest news of this past weekend has been the death of Lindsey Graham. I want to say thoughts and prayers to his family. And we've also got new things coming out in the Nolan Wells case. Those have been the two biggest stories dominating the media and also dominating social media. But one place seems to be giving the world the real light of the truth, while the other place seems to be giving you the same old political salad that we get sick of. On this video, we're going to break down the hypocrisy of what MAGA is saying about Lindsey Graham versus what the real truth is for most people that have had to deal with his political leanings. And we're going to talk about all the new things that have came out in Nolan Wells. And a new segment we're going to do tonight, I'm calling it Things Black People Wouldn't Do. And I've got a special guest joining me tonight. A lot of you guys remember this brother. He's old school to my channel. I call him a living legend. All that starts right now.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that full. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
That's right, everybody. You're in the building with the all-knowing, all-loving, all-feeling, all-seeing, all-powerful, all woke, all DEI, all progressive, not much liberal, but very progressive. Damn, everything sexy as hell host. And guess who's joining me tonight, ladies and gentlemen? He's a legend, a walking, living legend. He's been here with me on YouTube almost since day one. He is my day one. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me, Larry is back in the building. What's up, Larry?
What's happening, man? It has been a long time. Man, it feels good to be back in the house.
He's back in the house, and ladies and gentlemen, he's always timely because I want to thank each and every one of you new subscribers that have come to check me out over the last 6 months or what may have you. I've been going on this growth spurt. I'm so thankful to you all. And if you didn't know, Mehdi Hassan hit me up and let me know this right here. Of the top 10 fastest growing YouTube channels in the last quarter, he's number 5. And then if you skip down 3 below him where that arrow is pointing, it's your boy, me, Lamont Tyson.
That's
number
crazy.
8 in front of Joe Rogan, ladies and gentlemen, the progressive voice, the voice of Black people. The name of the show is Politics of Being Black, where I'm giving you the angle of what society does to Blacks, but also letting you know how Mighty Whitey has put things in place in society to divide us all so that they can stay in power, and how that affects us all. And that's what the merit of this channel is about, as well as uplifting smaller progressive voices. So always make sure when you watch my shorts, go to the pinned comment or the video description to see the original content creator and show them some love. And Larry, we're going to start out tonight with Lindsey, I've been gay and never said it, Graham. And how there's been such a hypocrisy with MAGA. All of a sudden, when their people die, no matter how dastardly and wicked their people was, Larry, they expect you to feel sorry for them, have empathy for them, have some form of sadness for them. Well, this is what I got to say before I play you the first clip, Larry. It's hard to mourn the wicked. It's hard to mourn someone whose policy has put millions of people either dead or at risk for severe life-reducing qualities. And that's what Lindsey Graham did. He was a warmonger. He voted several times against the interests of people in South Carolina in favor of corporations. He was once chastising Trump, if you can remember, Larry, saying Trump was a racist, a bigot, a con man. And then when Trump won, all of a sudden he kissed in the ring. That is the history of Lindsey Graham. But Larry, I got a big homie called Jolly Ginger. He speaks to the hypocrisy of what MAGA has been saying. Folks, his link is in the video description. He's a fantastic creator. I love this dude. Listen to how he goes after the hypocrisy of MAGA, and then I'm going to turn Larry unleashed on y'all after this.
It was reported that Lindsey Graham had suddenly just passed away. This happened after a meeting that he had with Zelensky. Now listen, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I wasn't a fan of Lindsey Graham, but that man was a husband, a father, a son, a grandfather.
So that guy's a MAGA influencer. He's always online, democrats, democrats, and cheering on Donald Trump and cheering on ICE. He usually wears a hat that says ICE supporter or some dumb shit like that. He cheers on the kidnapping and killing and inhumane treatment of other human beings, who is now online saying that the left is just a bunch of heartless bastards, cheering on the death of Lindsey Graham, a husband, a father, and a grandfather. Lindsey was never married. No children. You don't even know fuck all about the guy. You're so outraged that people are celebrating his death. I wish your fucking fake emotions would just smack you in the fucking face a couple times and maybe you snap back to fucking reality. This emotional manipulation that you ramrods do, pretending to have some type of fucking humanity while you cheer on genocide in Gaza, while you cheer on the kidnapping and killing of what ICE is doing right here in America, while you cheer on the continued inhumanity that your party perpetuates. And then when an actual husband and father by the name of Robert Mueller dies, your president cheers that death on and you have fuck all to say about it. I tell you what, don't stand on any kind of moral hill and try to make a moral stand. Instead, shut the fuck up. Yeah.
Larry, I can't argue with the man. How many times have we seen people who we've seen people die that are progressive? We've seen Robert Mueller. He wasn't a progressive. He was a conservative. He dies and Trump is talking cash stuff to him. Where was MAGA at then? But what I think Jolly Ginger did, and please go subscribe to his channel. His link is in the description. Not only did he highlight the hypocrisy, Larry, he also highlighted the stupidity of MAGA, because Lindsey Graham was not married. Lindsey Graham was no husband. Now he had himself, Larry, and I've got a tape of this. He did have himself some paramours, some gay paramours that had to sign NDAs, Larry, to not talk about his grinder issues. And we will get to that video next. But having said that, Larry, what do you make of how MAGA continues to try to keep their people dumb and perpetuate this hypocrisy that the Democrats are the demons when evil people die?
I mean, first off, I just want to know what is in the water down there in South Carolina that has all of these conservatives willing to vote for two gay dudes as their senators, because both of them are gay. I mean, don't get me wrong. Tim Scott, he's halfway still invited to the barbecue. We're forgiving people. It's hard to get your card revoked, but no one's believing that little okey doke wedding that with that chick. Come on, man. But Lindsey, everybody knew. They said it was an open secret. I mean, the reality of it is no one cares. No one cares. Dude could have came out and been like, yeah. But now I guess they're going to have to go over to that log cabin, open the door, and find a new one because, apparently South Carolina likes their gay senators. But I was watching a clip today with Media Son, if I'm pronouncing his name right, and he was talking to Piers Morgan, and he mentioned that, it's a little ridiculous that people are expected to now that someone's dead to just act like they were some sort of angel and that you never had any disagreements with them. He was like, I'm not celebrating his death, and that's how I'm not celebrating his death. I feel the same way, but I'm not forgetting what he stood for when he was alive. I'm not forgetting the things that he voted for. I'm not forgetting who this man was. I'm not going to celebrate his life because I don't think his life was worth celebrating when he was alive. I didn't like the stuff that he did. Just like when Donald Trump finally expires, I'm not going to celebrate his life. I'm also not going to mourn his death. I'm also not going to celebrate his death. I am going to be neutral because, to be perfectly honest, unless somebody kills Donald Trump in a way that affects me as an American, and the only way that's going to affect me as an American is if it was a foreigner who does it. Because if some other American kills him, well, it is what it is. If some foreign person kills them, then as an American, I am outraged, not because they killed Donald Trump, but because they killed our country's president. That's the only way that I'm going to be outraged and mourn his death. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't know him. It's like I didn't know Lindsey Graham, and what I did know about him from his policies and his political stuff, I'm not celebrating his life. I'm not going to be cruel and inhumane and celebrate his death. Go ahead and let's get the election going. You know,
the thing is, Larry, unlike most MAGA, as we just displayed, and Jolly Ginger displayed so eloquently, MAGA does not have the capabilities, Larry, to do two things at one time and critically think. While me and you are not mourning that this guy died the tragic way he did because we have humanity, we're still not going to celebrate his life either. It's not like we wanted him to die in the tragic manner that he died. And, you know, he had like cardiac arrest or something to that effect, Larry. And I made a video, and I would love for you guys to go watch it, where I said, I pretty much feel like the man died of heartbreak because he had to stay in the closet his whole life when it was the worst unkept secret in DC. Why not come out? Why not be happy? Why not enjoy your best life? Damn, you were 71 and you've been trying to keep this stuff a secret your whole life, bruh. That's stress. There's a reason why when gay dudes go to the club and they all know that they're gay, and then they look at each other and lock eyes, they hooking up in the bathroom because they know that there's an embedded insecurity that they both don't have to worry about in life because they're going to be together. And Lindsey Graham wasted time doing that. And probably, Larry, I bet you some of the angry policies he voted for, some of the way he turned around, bent over like a donkey for Donald Trump, was because he had these repressed feelings on the inside of his body because he couldn't be who he really was. He couldn't come out and show who he really was. And for those of you that are saying to me and Larry, I don't believe Lindsey was gay, I got a video for you, Larry. Take a look at the ladies of iHip News who broke this story first. It's the first place I've seen it at, where one of the sex workers, I'm sorry, LGBT community, a trans worker who signed the NDA is telling all now because the NDA is null and void. Take a listen to this, Larry.
Just woke up to find out Lindsey Graham is dead. LOL. Most of you know him as the homophobic senator from South Carolina, but to me, he will always be the man who paid a Twinkie pre-transition college student, she says me, a fat stack of cash to do unspeakable things to him in a hotel room while he wore red lingerie. It's a canon trans event to have far-right freaks bankrolling you and then turning around and voting against you. People love to judge us for it, but I never see them opening their wallets. Shout out to sex workers everywhere forced to humanize their enemies just to make rent. It is an absolute mindfuck to me that one of the reasons I have any semblance of financial security and lack of student loans is because of this man. At the time, I had no idea who he was, and I only figured it out because another group of twinks leaked Lady G to the media. Some queers tried to grandstand critique this, saying we shouldn't out people. I believe bigots with power deserve no peace or privacy, especially when they hold public office. I'm glad they did it. Icons forever. Anyway, if you've ever enjoyed what I do on the internet, know that it is in part because of Lindsey's generous donation over a decade ago. If I've ever sent you money for something, know that was kickstarted by the now deceased sissy senator from South Carolina. Lindsey, rest in hell for what you did to our community. I will continue to love queer and trans people harder than you ever hated us. I love every second of our time together, and now everyone knows. Wow.
Larry.
Wow.
Larry. The foundation of this channel was started because Mighty Whitey likes to put narratives in place to control everybody else while they do the very things they're telling you not to do behind your back. Then they want to put laws in place so that you can't do them. And if you get caught doing them, you go to jail and they have the power and clearance to get away with it. This is what he was doing. This is it. So let's just talk about the violations he was doing. Number one, last I checked, Larry, prostitution is only legal in Las Vegas in America. And he was not in Las Vegas when he was making these cash transactions. That's number one. Number two, Larry, how much you want to bet some of this was government money he was using?
Oh, I'm sure he was probably making arrangements to meet with these people while he was traveling. And, you know, whether he was in DC or in New York or, you know, I mean, let's be real. If you live in DC, if I'm not mistaken, I think these dudes get a housing stipend. So I feel like if you're doing some illegal activity in your home, such as, you know, hosting prostitutes, that might make it, you know, a federal crime. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But the fact of the matter is, these dudes, part of, I think, the reason why some of these people are so vicious and angry and ridiculous and over the top is because they have all of this pent up frustration and anger because they don't feel that they can come out and be gay and still be a man. And I can tell you right now, as someone who grew up in Southern California and had used to go out and hang out in Hollywood and Venice Beach and all those areas in Los Angeles, and you would see gay people out with everyone else. And if you saw a gay dude get called a name and then just straight up mollywop some straight dude and then talk shit, you know, you could still be a man and be gay. And there's nothing, I can't imagine there's anything more embarrassing than getting your ass whooped by a sissy. You know, I mean, I think I'd rather be beat up by a girl. But my point is that you can still very much be a man and be gay. People do it every doggone day. But I get it. Lindsey Graham was 71 years old. He was from a different generation, very, very different attitudes towards homosexuality. And I'm sure those attitudes just stayed with him. He probably never felt like he was comfortable. He probably felt like he was going to lose his friend circle if he did. It's just really sad that he does. But, you know, it seems like this is a recurring theme within the Republican Party. You have all these gay dudes that are out there that just are afraid to come out and they get angry. I mean, you look at what's his name, Chud the Builder. They're talking about he was seeing a black female sex worker that was pegging him. I mean, bro, for real. Like, you don't need to run out there and try and prove that you're a man and that you don't like black people, because really what you're saying is that you're gay and you want a black man as your lover, and the closest thing you can figure you could do is maybe go get some black woman to peg you, because then you can at least try and say, justified in your own mind, that it's a woman, you're not gay. But the fact is, you're gay. And you don't have to be hateful and run around calling people all this stuff. Just be who you are, be true to yourself, and let all of that hate come out of your heart. And maybe you'll be a better person, a better politician, a better friend, a better, you know, lover, a better doctor, teacher, lawyer, whatever you do, you know. But they're so filled with hate. I've heard so many stories about these people that were part of January 6th that have been arrested for sex crimes, and they've been outed as closeted homosexuals and all kinds of stuff. I'm just like, it's at this point, it is so cliche because it has happened so many times. I'm like, bro, come on.
I mean, it's embarrassing too, Larry, that it's embarrassing to think that the food court rednecks took over the Capitol on January 6th. It's embarrassing. And all of them got hate in their heart. That's the common denominator with all of them. They got hate in their heart. I say on my channel, Larry, you haven't been here to hear this in a while. These people would rather not put food on their plate because they got too much hate in their heart. That's what they rather want, the hate, and not the food on their plate. So y'all, post your comments. Let us know what you think, man. We are not celebrating the life of Lindsey Graham, nor are we celebrating that he died the way he died. But at the end of the day, folks, your epithet is going to be based on maybe not one or two mistakes, but the totality of how you served and helped people in your life. And Lindsey Graham destroyed more than what he helped and served. And that's just the flat out facts. And we've covered them in this video. And now we've got to get to another issue because Larry, he's not a dad, but he's basically everybody's uncle. And Larry is near and dear to both our hearts because I'm a father of two. You've met my daughter. And you know that, we've kind of are in an intersection of being professional Blacks, meaning that we do have white friends and white professionals that we play with and we expose our kids with because we do believe in equality. Equality means we are able to get along with whoever. We're able to marry, date whoever. You have friendships with whoever, as long as they are supporting and believing in the same thing. And Nolan Wells, folks, done something that I said in this day and age of Trump is a capital sin. Number one, if you're the only Black person, never take your ass on a boat with a bunch of white people. That didn't work out for us 400 years ago. And today it's still not working out. And he died. And it was a lot of hoopla about that because so many weird things happened around the case. We even got a judge who was a parent of one of these kids who probably needs to step her butt down and not be a judge no more based on some of the stuff she did. And we'll get to that in a minute. But this
sounds like it sounds like they might need to bring charges against her for obstruction, because it sounds like she's trying to destroy evidence. She knows exactly, she knows better than anybody involved what should and should not happen. She knows that there was going to be a criminal investigation. She 100%. Knows that boat was going to be evidence. She knows that the last thing they should have done, as even forget cleaning that boat, they should not have touched that boat. That boat should have been roped off and turned over to the authorities so that they can go ahead and use whatever is in there, if for anything, to clear her kids of anything. But she knew them little fuckers were dirty. She knows there's no reason to try and get rid of evidence unless you know that evidence is condemning. She knows that.
And Larry, in the community they live in, it's like Mississippi, they know that they got everybody in their back pocket. But here's an update, because now, Larry, we've got Benjamin Crump on the case. And let me tell you something. MAGA and Republicans hate this dude. But here's the latest in what's going on. Oh, yeah, they hate him. Check this out.
Evidence has just come out in the Nolan Wells case that proves that he was murdered by those three men. There was a pool party that took place after the island, and you can see clearly in Evan's Instagram post, Nolan is there. Witnesses have put out statements saying that an altercation took place between Nolan, Evan, and two other boys, and the boys proceeded to beat Nolan to death with a metal bar and urinate on him. And all those people there watched and did nothing about it. They are no better than the people that killed him. The reason that Nolan's phone pinged on the island is because they went back and they dumped his body after they killed him. These men need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law because they murdered Nolan Wells. Nolan Wells was murdered. Say his name.
Big facts, Larry. But there's more to this, Larry, because this is, make no mistake, Larry, this is a cover-up. This is a cover-up. And the judge went to school with the boy's mama and made it clear. So, folks, go and check out my big homie that just got finished speaking. His link is in the description. He does a good job. But now we're going to hear from my girl, Angela Rough Rydom Rye from the Native Land podcast, and her thoughts on the judge and how the judge intervened. Larry, you know how Angela Rye get down. Yes. If you want to talk about somebody that would challenge me in a sparring contest verbally, Angela Rye is that sis, okay? Take a listen to what she had to say about the judge. Me.
She wouldn't challenge me.
Yeah,
I would be no challenge. I'd be too tongue-tied.
Yeah, you want to be challenged by her, but not me. Take a listen to the sister, y'all.
The kids who were with Nolan Wells have deactivated their social media accounts, and one of the kids' stepmothers is a judge. in the area. And so I want to put her statement up, B, because I think this is interesting that a judge, while there's an open investigation, felt comfortable and audacious enough to post the following statement. So she says, our family, along with the community, grieves the loss of Nolan Wells. Our thoughts and prayers are with Nolan's family. Our son, Warren, loved Nolan dearly. Unfortunately, I feel that it is appropriate for our family to dispel some rumors with facts based upon the social media attention that is being diverted away from the Wells family and their loss. Mind you, the Wells family went to social media to find their child, but I digress. So then she says defensively, yes, I deactivated my Facebook. Given the very heightened emotional state of social media right now, I fear for the safety of my child and my children. My husband and I have 6 children and we covet their privacy. We do not believe it is appropriate for our minor children's photographs to be circulated throughout the internet, presenting potential threats to their safety. Pausing here to just acknowledge that these are the last people Nolan was photographed with.
But
and people
also
want to know if they were with him or not when he died.
Yeah, this is why I find the sheriff's statement to be so troubling.
Yeah.
Because Judge Cole,
we got to bring that back up too. We weren't done, Nick, but you can pause it for now.
Yeah, Judge Cole could be accurate in her assertion that her son had nothing to do with it. She could be very accurate in the assertion, and he could have drowned. It could be an accident. He could have had a stroke. He could have, all of these could have, right? And we don't know what happened. And we're not here to, and I don't want to find those young boys guilty in a court of public opinion, because that happens to us and our people too much, and I ain't about to start handing that out. But the reason and the circumstances surrounding this require more attention. It requires more detail. It requires more transparency.
Well, let's keep reading her statement so you can see.
Let me tell you why the sheriff is wrong. Because when you come out here right now and say there's no evidence of foul play, many of us look like you're drawing conclusions before we know the investigation is over.
What did Larry just say? What did Larry had no idea that I was going to play that. He had no idea. What did Larry just say? And for those of you that don't know, Larry has extensive police background in his heritage. I'm going to leave it at that. Now, Larry, I've got another clip, and I'm debating, should I play it right now? Or I want you to go ahead and get a speak in on this, Larry, before we go to the next clip.
This is one of those things, and I hate to say it because I hate for this. I hate saying this because I just don't like that it is, but it's one of those things where, and I've been Nolan. I grew up in a predominantly white area. I grew up with a lot of white friends. I've been at places where I was the only black dude there. And I can tell you that if you're out there, the motherfuckers are quick to turn on you. If you don't go along with them, they will be quick to turn on you. And I can tell you also, when I got to high school and a few more black folks moved in, it was almost as if someone just opened the door and said, "Come on in, bro, you're home." And that was it. That was it for the rest of my time, And it's just, but the thing is, I try and tell these young folks, and I know some black folks, they go to school and they get sort of embraced by these white folks and they think that they're special in some way. Oh, the white folks love me. They're not bad. They're not racist. Oh, they say make jokes and stuff just because that's guys being guys, whatever. But you're not safe. And that's one of those things when you're one of those guys and you're hanging out, maybe you decide to join a white fraternity or something and you're the only one that ends up hurt. It's a reason for that. You're not safe. I tell black women this. If you're thinking about out there going and dating some white dude because you're thinking, oh, black man ain't shit, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to find me a good one, yada, yada. He has a good job. Yada. Guess what? If he decides he wants to be a horrible human being and whoop your ass and do whatever else, guess what you have? No protection. Nothing. You can call the police. They're more likely to arrest you when they show up.
Exactly.
It just that is America, and you don't have to like it, but you damn well better recognize it so that you don't end up dead or hurt. And I just, it's so, every time I see something like this, it's so saddening because it doesn't have to happen. I mean, we need it, and it's such a conundrum that I think parents are put in, where you don't want to teach your kids to self-segregate. You don't want to teach your kids that all white people are bad and you should stay away from them. But you do have to teach your kids how to protect themselves, and that when you are in those situations, you are extraordinarily vulnerable. I mean, it's like my mother had told me, and my father had told me, I don't know how many times, because I had these young white friends when I was growing up and I was in high school. You don't have the same privilege that they do. They can go out and they can get in trouble, and they're not going to have any consequences. It's not going to be the same for you. You can't do what they do.
Larry, let's contrast this very case and let's flip it around. This very case right here, where the judge has intervened, the sheriff is basically intervening.
Let me tell you what would happen. Let me tell you what would happen. If this was in reverse, let me tell you what would happen. All those people that are in that pool, all the people in the pool would be arrested. The men, the women, all of them would be arrested. They would be interrogating them. They would be threatening each and every one and saying, if you don't tell me what's going to happen, I'm going to prosecute you with felony murder to the highest degree that we possibly can. You are going to go to jail for the rest of your life, and your college career, all that's going to be ruined. You're not going to have a life. You're going to be in prison for the rest of your days if you don't tell us what happened. They would have worked over every single one of those kids until they broke them and found out what really happened. But they're not going to do that with those young white kids, because as we know, when it comes to white males, they will do anything to protect them. You could be a white kid who rapes a white woman who's drunk and unconscious behind a trash dumpster, and they will protect you over her or any.
Larry, not only protect you, Larry, not only protect you, but elevate you to the Supreme Court and then elevate you to the presidency.
They will do all of that because they don't want to ruin your. Let me just say this. There are a lot of white people out there. You can afford to lose the bad ones. Send them to jail. You don't need to protect those ones. You don't need them. Let them go. If you have some little sociopath that wants to go and beat people, rape people, kill people, touch little boys and little girls, let them go. There's more of you. More of you. Yep. There's nothing special about that person. And if their parents didn't raise them right, then that's it. You deal with their parents. You tell their parents, you're no longer welcome at the country club. You're no longer welcome in this circle. You should have known better. When you recognize the terrible, dark, ugly tendencies of that child, you should have got his dumb ass into therapy. But you didn't. You said, oh, that's just him being a boy, boys being boys. No, boys being boys isn't pushing down some girl and touching her. And that's what happens. These little boys they do that stuff. The parents see it, and they just let it go.
Exactly. Speaking of letting things go, we got more from this judge as Angela Rye continues to read things that this judge says. Now, this part right here is probably what's going to get most of us upset. And you'll be where I'm at when I say this judge needs to lose her job immediately. Take a listen.
I graduated high school with Christine Wells Wansley. We are from the same community. I have the utmost respect for her and all of the Wells family. We mourn the loss of Nolan with them. Our prayers have been and will continue to be with them. Then she goes on defensively to say, my husband and I were not at Horn Island at any point on 4th of July. No one in our family is trying in any way to impede with the investigation by law enforcement or to otherwise hamper the family and law enforcement's quest for answers. Warren was interviewed by the judge. This is fascinating. This is mind-blowing to me that this is a judge doing this, by the way. Warren was interviewed by the Jackson County Sheriff's Department and cooperated fully. He saw Nolan last at around 3 p.m. on July 4th. They left around 4:30 p.m. when the boat was taking on water and they had an issue with the bilge pump. Nolan made a decision to stay on the island and return inland later with another group of friends. Yes, I am a judge. Let me say that again. Yes, I am a judge. I also value transparency. I apologize if anyone was offended that I deleted my social media. There were no nefarious motivations in my deleting my social media. Social media has a lot of positives, but a whole lot of negatives. But she is on here singing the pain with her song on social media. We live in a world of clickbaiting, sad but true. She clickbaiting right now. My family is hopeful that this information will help to redirect the attention to the Wells family, their grief, and their need for our community support. Here's where she fucked up. This ain't about to redirect the attention to the Wells family. People have even more questions now. You're a judge, a sitting judge who knows that something happened to this child. The child has lost his life. And you're up here posting about your son and wanting to protect your son. Your son and the friends who he was with didn't help to protect this Black child.
Yeah. Larry, I don't got to say nothing else. She summarized it perfectly. The only thing I have to add is that judge needs to be investigated. She needs to recuse herself from all cases. She has clearly shown you that being unbiased is not in her DNA, them no good ancestors. And she does not need to be judging nothing. She doesn't even need to be judging the book fair at a local elementary school the way she has conducted herself here. Floor is yours, Larry.
First, I have to say, I don't know what's wrong with Common. I mean, her and Serena? I mean, come on, bro.
Larry, let's just say it like this, Larry. Everybody ain't built like me and you where we can deal with and accept powerful, highly educated Black women, okay? Yeah. Everybody ain't built like me and you. We built different. We cut different. We man's man and we can deal with it.
I don't know what happened. I'm just saying. Anyways, I mean, this judge should have known. And here's the thing, right? She knew what was happening when she went and had that boat cleaned. She knew what was going on. She knew that she was destroying evidence, and there's no excuse for that. Now, I will say, I'm not a parent, but as an uncle, on a human level, I understand the reason why, she would do that. I understand why she would put it all at risk for her baby boy. I get it. I mean, mind you, if my brother did something heinous, with a few exceptions, I would probably help him first and ask questions later. And if it turned out later I did something that was a little suspect, I might just be like, that was my brother. What do you want me to do? So on a human level, I get her helping her son. But from someone who is a sworn officer of the court, there is absolutely no excuse. This woman should be removed from her post immediately. She should be prosecuted. They should investigate her, indict her, and prosecute her if there is evidence, which clearly there is, of her obstructing justice and destroying evidence. They should have her referred to the Mississippi bar to have her disbarred. There's no excuse for what she has done. And I hope that she suffers all those consequences. And I don't care if her son had anything to do with it.
Everybody in the investigation needs to be prosecuted and investigated. All of them. Yeah. All of them.
This is the thing that gets me, right? I can't tell you how many times I have been in situations, whether it be in school, in public, where I've seen somebody getting into a fight, somebody who got into a fight and the person just didn't, like, somebody got the best of someone and they just didn't stop. And so you have to step in. And any man who has been out there who's done this, maybe women too, I've seen women step in between people getting in fights. You know how incredibly dangerous it is, because you have to put yourself in the middle of a violent confrontation where somebody may not know immediately because their head is not in a calm state to know you're not trying to attack them. You're just trying to say, hey, let's stop this. but people do it. I have done it multiple times in my life. You have probably done it. Other people have done it. To think that there was not a single person in that space that was willing to stop this before it went too far. Because, I mean, guys get into fights. Males get into fights. Whether if you're human or if you're an antelope, it doesn't matter. Males get into altercations. But at some point, as human beings, supposedly civilized, and this is why people that are not white often say white people are not civilized, because civilized folks would say that's enough and they will stop that. You know, people will look online and they'll see black people fighting. Look at them, they're animals, but you see them fighting. And when it's somebody's down and somebody takes it too far and kicks somebody in the head, people are quick to jump in and say, nah, bro, that's too much. That's enough. And they grab it and pull people off. Why? Because people are civilized. They know people fight, and then they know there's a certain point where it has to end. You don't let people sit there and bash people. I would not let my friend bash somebody over the head with a pipe, because you know that even if you don't give two shits about the guy who he's about to hit, if you and I were out and about and some neo-Nazi skinheads came and started a fight with us and we knocked them out and you were continuing to beat the dude down and bang his head on the concrete, I would pull you off of him, not because I give two shits about this neo-Nazi dude, but because I don't want you to kill him and then have to suffer the consequences of that. Because one of a few things. One, it's going to take a lot of money to defend your freedom after that. And two, I don't think people understand the weight that people carry after you have taken a life. It is not something you walk away from and just say, it's all good. Even people who have justifiably killed people still carry that weight on them. I just don't understand why somebody didn't step in, if not to protect Nolan, then to protect their other friends who were going to then have their life blown up with this.
Well, they did step in, Larry. They stepped in and tried to cover it up. And then they knew they had powerful parents who would step in and further cover it up, which they always quick to tell us there's no such thing as white privilege. This right here is white privilege. One of the reasons we do this show is to highlight white privilege when people try to tell you they don't recognize it, when we know good and damn well you do. But we do know that there are those in the MAGA bubble that are so dumb, so into this I'm walking with Jesus shit, that they don't recognize that there is a bubble. There's life outside their little sanctimonious bubbles. And this is another one we're going to continue to follow, because we wish this family well. Look at this beautiful family right here. It just breaks my heart, because I've got a young man I'm going to have to teach all these things, and a daughter who loves everybody. My daughter goes to a park. I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic. She's trying to be she sees a little girl playing. She's like, I'm going to go make me a new friend. She don't care what you look like. She don't care. And
that's the way things should be.
It should, but we have too many people like this judge who is not doing that, because she was really about the business of protecting everybody. She would have let this investigation go on regardless. But folks, let us know what y'all think.
If her son truly had nothing to do with it, what she really should do is say, sweetie, I'm going to walk you in and we're going to tell the truth. You may have to have some consequences. You may end up having to go and I may have to bail you out because they may charge you. But I mean, honestly, anybody who has dealt with law enforcement or attorneys or prosecutors, everyone knows the first one who turns is the first one who's protected. If you don't turn early, you're not protected. People can talk about no snitching and all that shit. I can tell you right now, not everybody is meant to go into a cage. There are some people that are like, yeah, cool. I can do a bid. I can do 5 years, 10 years, whatever. They can do a bid, come out, live their life. Not everybody's built like that. And those people eventually are going to talk. If they get the pressure, now mind you, it's going to take pressure because it sounds like the authorities don't want to put any pressure on anybody. But if it comes to the point where the Fed, I mean, this is the tough part with this right now. They're in Mississippi. We know the state authorities probably don't want to do anything. And because we are in the Trump administration, we're likely not going to have the feds go and investigate either.
Of course not.
Luckily, because this can be because the kid, I mean, I don't want to say luckily because he's dead, but luckily the way our laws are, there is no statute of limitations on murder. So if these kids think they got away with something because the Mississippi state prosecutors don't want to do anything and the federal government doesn't want to do anything, maybe in 2 years, you know, when the Dems can take back the White House and then get rid of all these maggots and the DOJ and restore order, you can still go back and prosecute this case. And so these kids may move on thinking their life is all normal, go and graduate from college and get themselves a good job and find out their ass is on trial for murder now. And I can tell you right now, I don't care who you work for. You're on trial for murder, you're not going to keep that job. They're going to be like, nah, bro, this is a bad look for us. You come back when you're done if you're not convicted, but you got to go. You know, their life, if we get a Democratic, president and they're willing to go after this, their life is going to get disrupted. Maybe it happens now if somebody grows a backbone and finds some integrity, or maybe it happens in a couple years.
Gotcha. Post your comments, y'all. Let us know what you think. Last segment of the night, I try to keep it a little funny after all this heavy bull job we're dealing with in MAGA world, is a new segment I call Black People Wouldn't Do That. And Larry, I've got a special video for you today where Black people would not do that. And my white people, let us know what you think, because oftentimes we see too much of this white people doing this crazy stuff that gets themselves hurt. But I will give y'all credit. Y'all do pioneering and trailblazing a lot of things that most of us Black folks like, we sitting this one out, homie. And y'all do somehow or another make a way. But in this case, if something has an ass that's bigger than your whole body, I think you should sit it out. Larry, take a look at the first episode of Black People Wouldn't Do That.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if dude's okay, but man, at his age, that could be deadly. My God.
Ladies and gentlemen, at that age, just having a hip surgery is life-threatening, okay? Wow. But Larry, what the hell? There is no way my grandma, first of all, my grandma wouldn't have got out of a car that close in Yellowstone Park to a bison that big, okay? The bison was as big as the car. What are we doing here? And then Grandpa, you was moving, your 4.340 speed was not 4.340. I was playing. It was more like 10.7. And the bison let you circle like 2-3 times. You could have got away. You could have
gotten a car. There was a car that pulled up. I don't care who owned that car. I'd have jumped into that car. If Trump was in it, I would have gotten that car.
Right in the back of the truck. And Larry, did you notice how the bison went out to Grandpa? Where was the grandson? What happened to the grandson?
Oh, I don't know. He was maybe that was it. Maybe the grandpa was being a good grandpa and decided to distract the bison so it wouldn't get the grandson. Let's go with that. Let's cut us some slack and go. Let's pay respect to our elders and go with that.
Look, the only respects I can pay is, bruh, you gotta be MAGA, because ain't no progressive that dumb, bruh. Why are you? Come on, man, Larry.
I mean, look at this. Put that back up there.
Larry.
The bison came over there, ransacked your stuff. He knocked over the fire pit. Look at the fires on the ground now. He knocked over the fire pit. I mean, if this, I'm assuming it's a bull bison because it looks like it's still intact. I mean,
Larry,
that thing clearly is not even afraid of fire. He's on one.
Right.
He's on one.
Anytime, ladies and gentlemen, anytime an animal rose in the fire, in the Tartarus pits of hell, okay, he is not about to be friendly. He's not. Yeah. He is not playing. And for whatever the reason, I don't know if that geriatric old man, I don't know if that was a speed boost for him or that was the limit of his speed. But all I know is the bison let him run around that tree like 3 times, and he should have made an escape. He should have made an escape. Now, in true fashion, ladies and gentlemen, post your comments. Is that truly something black people wouldn't get caught doing? I don't think so. But I also want to know this. Do you think that the white people, because when this happened, when animals harm white people, Larry, they don't play. They be ready to take their asses. They put them down. Do y'all think that because of what he did by throwing Grandpa higher than an NBA basketball court, y'all think that they put him down in Yellowstone Park? Let me know what you think. What you think, Larry?
I think they better not put that thing down. I think they ought to do like what they should do is say, hey, you know what? We're going to pick them up. We're going to take them. And because most of those bisons in the park, they're already tagged. They know where they're at. They need to pick them up maybe and just relocate him somewhere a little bit further out. And if he comes back, then maybe you have to just keep moving them or simply say, we need to get rid of this particular campground. It's too close. I mean, that's just, I mean, don't get me wrong. Black folks, we like to be outside too, you know, but this is one of the black people talk about white people in, because I'm not going to go camp or have a picnic next to some wild animals. It's just, it's not, I mean, come on. I mean, you see people out there on safari, you see pictures of people on safari having picnics next to wild animals, and you see the guys in the car talking about it's not safe. No, they're good. They love me. Look at it. It's purring. No, it's not. It's licking its lips, thinking how you're going to taste good. I mean, come on, people. And I get it. You have your dogs and your cats. They're at home. They're fluffy. You think all animals are wonderful and they're going to love you. No, animals are in the animal kingdom. They will kill you if they feel threatened. They will eat you if they can. Just leave it be.
And Larry, I'm letting the bison have everything on that table. He can have it.
Yeah,
I'm letting him
I
have
don't need
it.
to come back for any of it.
No,
I'm calling American Express. I'm gonna use my purchase protection. They're gonna say you lost your cart and all this stuff. Don't what? Yes, I was camping. I was there. There was a wild bison, and they're gonna say they'll probably ask me, why was your dumbass camping near a wild bison? And I'm gonna say I don't have a good answer for that. I just would like to use my purchase protection. And they're gonna say, nah, you're gonna pay the stupid tax on this one. And then I'm gonna say, you know what? You're absolutely right. I'm going to pay the stupid tax and I'm going to move on. But what I'm not going to do is get tossed 8 feet in the air and break my damn hip because I think I'm cool having a picnic next to a bison. It doesn't make any sense.
Larry, 8 feet. Larry, that was taller than an NBA basketball. That was at least 13 feet in the air. Did you see the way that the grandpa, only thing he was missing was a cape because dude was fucking flying, bro. Y'all let us know what you think. Post your comments. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe. Again, big shout out to all you guys who have made Poor Little Lamont Tyson the 8th fastest growing YouTube channel in all of politics, not just progressive, not just Republican, but both. 8th fastest growing. Anybody you know that's trying to get a leg up, that's trying to do progressive politics, they want to get their signal boosted, send them my way. I'll signal boost, and that's what we do here. We're growing together. Please subscribe. Come back.
I need to see you with a suit on, bro. I need to see you with a suit on Abby Phillips arguing with the rest of them folks.
I'm thinking about it. You know, that's something that has come up, and I'm really, really thinking about maybe giving one of those a shot. So if y'all want to see me do that, just let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. Larry has a YouTube channel too. His link will be in the description. You can check my man out. And until that next section is held video, y'all, we are out. We'll probably be back Thursday, but for now, we out.
Peace, y'all.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.